Hello, Leslie.
Hi, Roberta.
You are the CEO of Laudes Foundation. Laudes is very active in the climate space, and we know that current time never has been a more convergence time in terms of climate and social crisis. What keeps you up at night, and what kind of hope do you have for the year coming?
How much time do you have? It's a big question. Yeah, so just a bit of context. So we started Laudes in early 2020, largely to use philanthropic capital to try to accelerate how business and industry tackles both the climate crisis and the inequality crisis. So it was very much focused on these two deep systemic crises. What keeps me up at night is the fact that we're in a multi-crisis situation. The context has changed. We're seeing not only challenges on the climate, energy, and inequality side, we're in a food crisis, we're in a biodiversity crisis, we're going to see a refugee crisis. I mean, it truly is a polycrisis moment. And that is very scary, because when people are just trying to survive and make it through the upcoming winter, then you need to think about how do you actually stay true to the actions that's needed to really tackle the breakdown of climate and tackle the deepening inequity that we're seeing in our societies. So the global economic context keeps me up, but I think what gives me hope is the fact that, especially over the past couple of years, we're seeing a lot more foundations step up. You may be aware that foundation funding for climate mitigation specifically has been less than 2% of about $750 billion. That needs to increase quickly. Otherwise, we're going to be doing too little, too late. And we're seeing that increase. We're seeing some big entrants into the market. And for Laudes, that allows us to actually stand up and make some bigger bets. That gives me hope that we're seeing more money flow in, but it's not enough. And at the end of the day, foundation capital is just catalytic capital, and it's there to really unlock others, whether it's a market mechanism or other investors or even government. And so what matters to me is how much that capital can be used to get the action by others that we want to see.
Yes, the good news is the latest data that we are collecting also from our Investing for Impact community, that impact capital is moving into the climate solution, investing in climate solution. Actually, 45% of the Investor for Impact that contributed are investing in climate, either mitigation or adaptation. How do you see the role of impact finance? Are they mobilized enough, too little? What is your view?
Ideally, all finance would be impact finance, because finance has such an incredible power to move the real economy. So if you can direct how money flows through the economy, you can actually accelerate the change that we want to see with business and industry. But we're not there yet. So I do think that impact finance, as we define it, plays a really important role. I think first and foremost, it has the ability to take risk, and it should take risk. It doesn't always take risk, but it should. So being able to step up and test things that are untested, that's really important. Impact finance also can be catalytic, and it does that in different ways. It can show what's possible to bring other more mainstream financiers along, or it can actually just test something to see if it works. And it may fail, and that's okay. I think it's harder to be a more mainstream investor. Maybe if you have billions in pension, it's hard to have experiments, but smaller impact finance players can. I think thirdly, impact finance is actually a term that represents different types of players. We have foundations, we have impact investors, we have corporate social investors, corporate venture funds. It's a really diverse and I think quite impactful group of investors. And it's that diversity that allows us to hopefully have reach in areas that perhaps, again, the mainstream investors can't reach.